Hello and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Holler Project. Tip a hat to you guys to the end of the week. Anywho, today we're going to work on Blue Collar. You guys haven't seen her for a while and or very often. I think the last video we did on her was transmission rebuild, I think. Anywho, me and the fuzzy dog are down here. We're going to do a little diagnosis today. If any of you fellers or fellettes out there may remember when you were kids, or maybe even still, the old death wobble on the bicycles, get flying down a hill. Whoa boy, better slow her down a tickle. Well, that's what's going on with this here unit. Put a different set of wheels and tires on it. A little bit bigger, not a lot, but it developed a wobble. You hit a bump and the whole steering wheel feels like it's going to shake out of your hands. It's enough to scare you half to death. Took off down the road and hit one of those lovely speed buckles or heat buckles, and the old steering wheel about got loose out of my hands. Had to give her the old death grip and bring her back home. So she's been sitting for a good while. It's time for us to diagnose it. If you haven't ever seen Blue Collar, there she is. She's up on the lift. 1966 big block Impala from the factory that way with air conditioning. 74,000 original miles, I believe. And it's been well, I haven't really done much to it. I put dual exhaust on it, as you'll see when we crawl underneath it, and put a roller cam in it with some Scorpion roller rockers, and freshen the heads up. So anyway, oh, here's the new wheels and tires. I stuck with Rallies because I love them. These are Corvette Rallies, 15 by 8s in the rear, 15 by 7s in the front. With 235/70 15 in the back, and I think these are 215. No, 205/70 15 in the front. Anyway, pipes performance X-pipe setup. Sounds nice. Whoa, turned on my flashlight, shot her right backwards in the eyeballs. So anyway, I have done sway bar links to this car, as you can see here. Upgraded the shocks to some KYBs and struts. But let's walk through the diagnosis here. I know that I'm sure there's some of you guys out there that have had a little tire rubbage, that have had things go on in the front ends of your cars, and maybe you've had this symptom, maybe you have not. I've kind of already gone through this, so I already know what I'm looking for, but you guys don't. But I wanted to make a little video on the repair for this and how to properly figure out what component is loose in the front end when you're diagnosing yours. Okay, so how I've typically done this is I take things one at a time. Watch each joint that you have and give her the old tire shake test. So I can feel play right now, but if you watch the outer tie rod end, it's not moving. Now that could be possibly a wheel bearing also. Shake it this way and you don't feel it. So that eliminates the wheel bearing, and a lot of times it'll eliminate the lower ball joint. Let's see if I can find a good spot for you guys here. Typically with ball joint, I'll normally stand under it and I don't feel anything there. The other thing you could find coming this way could be upper ball joint. That's typically easier found by shaking the top of the tire, which we might be able to try. I don't know, the car's up in the air a little ways here. Try to find somewhere to put the camera. Okay, we'll try it with the top of the tire. I don't see anything there. Okay, so from there, you work your way down the line. Okay, we're watching this joint here, which this comes off the pitman arm, and this here is the center link. So this joint right here comes up through the pitman arm, and it's part of the center link. So let's watch that while I shake the tire. Maybe. I can't get the light in a very good spot. How's that look? So there's some play there. And what you're watching for, I know it's tough to see, but you want to watch the joint. If the joint moves and the pitman arm's not moving, well, then that would lead you to believe that this joint's probably loose, right? Also back here, you've got your inner tie rod end, which connects into this center link. And you're watching each joint one at a time. If your components are moving and the joint's not moving, then you can assume that that joint's probably tight. So if this joint here is moving, but the pitman arm's not, you could assume this joint's probably loose. Which is kind of what we've got going there. You're probably going to see it on camera because it's not super obvious. Let's move over here. And I should say that the inner tie rod end was also not moving. So we can come over here and shake this tire. You guys are going to watch. See any movement there? Okay, you can see it moving, but our joint is not. It's all moving as one piece. Okay, let's move along, move our lighting a little bit, move our camera a little bit, and now we're going to watch the idler arm here. You're going to watch this joint and you're going to watch this joint if you can. Let me get you up a little higher. That's not going to work there. That's not a terrible view, okay? Keep an eye here and here. See that moving? The whole joint's moving. So let's go back over here, and we're going to do that again, and we're going to watch this joint shaking the other tire. Can you see that play? You can see, maybe easier to see coming through here. Everything's moving except for the joint. But if you watch this joint, see that joint moving? But the pitman arm's not. So my diagnosis on this would be this joint on the center link. So what I did was went ahead and ordered a new center link. And this is how they come. Let me tear this end open so we can pull it out of there. Whoopsies. Sorry, little Debbie. Using you as a workbench. So as you can see, the center links come with new joints on the ends for the idler arm and the pitman arm. And then your inner tie rod ends will come in to these. There are no grease joints on this center link on the joints. The factory center link doesn't have them, and the new one from Summit does not happen or have them either. Can't remember what brand this is. I remembered a little while ago, but I don't. I'd have to look it up. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and replace this center link and see if our movement goes away. Hopefully that fan isn't too noisy for you folks out there. But we're going to go ahead and start tearing this thing apart, starting right over here. She's got cotter pins and all these castle nuts. So we'll fight with those for a couple hours. Can't tell if it's wrapped around that side or not. I don't think it is. You can do these many different ways. Sometimes I'll take a 90-degree pick, try to get it jammed in there. Sometimes I'll take a pair of side cutters and snip them. This one looks like it's already been cut. All right, we've got all the cotter pins out. We're gonna start taking castle nuts off so we can get this thing replaced. And I'll show you the easiest way to get these joints loose. Those are big ones. Three 1/4 inch. (9/16) on the inner tie rod ends and 3/4 inch on the others. In case anybody wanted to know. And luckily these joints have all been together for so long that, well, I'm not even going to say it, because if I do, you guys know exactly what's going to happen. I'll say it after I get them loose. How's that? I already took that one off, so we'll get this one over yonder, over here. So the way I always do these, don't beat on the end of your joint. Hit it on the side to shock it. You know what I mean? That's the easiest way to do it. Same up here. Hit the side of your, to shock it. Don't beat your threads in. And if you're gonna do it that way, at least put the casting nut back on it. You know, so you're not just destroying your threads. Sometimes you gotta put a little bit of your backside in it as well. See how that one came out? And that joint is absolutely loose. I'll show you here in a minute. Also, don't use a pickle fork. If you plan on reusing it and you use a pickle fork, you're just gonna tear the shit out of your boot. All right, we've got everything undone basically, except for that last joint. There she went. There you go. So that joint there is pretty tight. You go to the pitman arm side. I don't know if you guys can see this. She's loose. And there shouldn't be any play in that. So now you can check your other ends. That doesn't have any play in it. That doesn't have any play in it. That doesn't. And that doesn't. Should be okay. So we'll bring our new bar here. Take our new casting nuts off it. Let me come this way so you guys can see. Okay, and we'll put our inners back in here. And there you go. Now it's just a matter of tightening everything up. Tighten that castle nut, your two inner tie rod ends, pitman arm up there, and then we'll go ahead and grease our tie rod ends as well while we're at it. So let me tighten these things up and we'll give her the shakedown test again and see how we end up. There she is, all back together. I don't have any cotter pins small enough for these two, so I'm gonna have to get some. Oh, our light's dying, but I got new ones up here. So let's go for the shake test. You guys keep an eye on all that stuff. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, that's a ton better. I think we nailed it. Only thing left to do, go for a test drive. All right, here we go. Got my lovely co-pilot with me. Time for a test drive. I can tell you one thing already, the steering is much tighter than it was. And I did change the oil quick before we left, since I had it up above my bald spot of my head. Figured I might as well. So we're gonna take her down the Iowa's bumpiest road.
Yeah. Brand new bumpiest road.
Yep. And see how the steering wheel reacts. I can tell you it needs an alignment. Not from what I did, but it's always needed one. But you can really tell now that the steering's tight. It would already be speed wobbling, like the old Death wobble on a bicycle. Yeah, nice and smooth. See what happens when we get on the rumble strips up here. Much better. No Death wobble. I'd say we got her nailed. Other than needing an alignment. Steering wheel's just slightly off.
This is not upside down anymore.
I think we got her, dear. Yeah, no, it's not upside down. I did that when I put the new rag joint in it. Well, I suppose
Toodaloo.
that's probably going to conclude this episode of the Hole Up Project. Appreciate everybody watching as always. And remember, watch for your joints. Check the joints. If the joint's moving and what the joint is hooked to is not moving, you found your culprit. Should we pass this egg timer? I think we're doing about 40. Adios. And adios to you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good weekend.